Hi, my name is Catherine. I want to make a very brief introduction. I have been a minimalist for about 4.5 years, and I feel as though my things are already very much downsized. I don't have a lot that can go, at least of my personal things. I'm married and I have a new daughter. She's about 7.5 months old. She's 30 weeks. And so each of them have their own things, and I have my own things. And in this series, I really just want to focus on my things. I'm going to do a second series of baby things as well, but my husband things I'm really just not going to touch. If I get lucky and he says, I want on board, he's not a minimalist, are you shocked? Then we'll do a husband series too, but I don't see that happening just yet. So the reason I want to make these videos is because I saw a lot about the book The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, and I'll be honest, I just didn't love how it seemed to be a fad. Everybody talks about what sparks joy, and that was a catchphrase, and seeing it over and over on my Facebook groups got a little old, to be honest, and I sort of did not intend to jump on board with that at all. I did, however, decide to at least read the book, and at least see if it could offer me anything new. Baby just woke up from her nap, so I'm hoping she doesn't grab the phone and try and put it in her mouth. So I did enjoy parts of it. I would say that the book would be very helpful, especially to someone new to even just decluttering and organizing. Not even necessarily someone looking to rid themselves of all their worldly possessions. There isn't as much in that book that someone can glean if you're already a minimalist. You already don't have that much that can go. However, I did find some things inspirational, I'll admit. Some things I had to kind of like leave with grace, and some things I thought, you know what, that's a new thought for me, I'd like to adopt that. And so I'd like to make this series in the event of, hoping baby doesn't grab the phone, in the event of perhaps someone else feels the way I do and they're not sure how to apply this book to their already minimalistic life. So I decided I'm at least going to try KonMariing what I do have and applying that method to what's left and see, is there any difference that it makes? You know, how can I apply certain new concepts to my life? So I already did my books. I was right there. I have that video made first, but I'll upload it after this, and then you can just see the second part right then and there. The first thing you're supposed to touch is your clothing. And as a new minimalist back when, that was the first thing I did, and it really seems to me to be one of the best things you can start with. It shows the most immediate change, because you open your closet and you just feel better when it's done. It really shows you what decluttering can be right from the get-go. So I do recommend starting with your clothes. The reason I didn't is only because I already have so little to begin with. I think the point in starting there is if you're new. And the fact is a typical capsule wardrobe, like if you follow Project 333 by Courtney Carver, is having, you know, only a certain amount of things. I have probably, you know, including everything but my winter coat and my spring coat, I probably only have 15 things total. So I don't need to declutter that further, and I really can't declutter it further for a breastfeeding mom. I have it as low as it can go right now. So what I plan to do in the future is try a capsule. Capsule wardrobes never looked appealing to me. It looked boring, it looked repetitive. I like things that are a little unique, so it's kind of hard to, you know, use that and put it in a capsule if such and such piece doesn't go with anything else. But I would like to touch on clothes very specifically in a separate video, and so I want it to wait, because I am going to start a capsule in the next few months. So I'm going to get back to that one, so I hope you don't mind me kind of going off her track of starting there, but I can't get rid of anything else until that. So after books, the next thing is paperwork, and I promise I will get more into the clothing thing when I get the capsule. I'm going to show what I have right now and what I changed it over to, and I think it'll be good for me and anyone that maybe is interested in seeing how they can adopt a capsule if they don't think it works for them, because that's where I'm at, but I'm going to try. Right now I have a little bit more postpartum weight to get off, and so I'm not rushing out to get clothes that I won't be able to wear in the long term right now. So, with paperwork, I feel like I pretty much decluttered a lot of paperwork things. I keep, my daughter's looking at me like, who are you talking to? I have to show you how adorable. She's getting into my things as we speak and eating up all the paperwork. Okay, so I am going to go through what my paperwork is right now. I keep everything in a coffee table ottoman I have. I apologize for the lighting in here. The light's kind of far away from me. But Marie Kondo discusses keeping your paperwork in a clear file, and to be frank, I'm not really sure what she means by a clear file, but we use this pen to flex. Regardless of what she means, this works great for us, and I think that's the beauty of informational books, is you can kind of take what works for you and leave what doesn't. What I know works for us now is this system we switched to not all that long ago. This inside has tabs. I keep coupons, bills, a file of my daughter's for like her live birth certificate, that kind of thing. Not live birth certificate. Certain things that I have of medical, that sort of thing. I have an insurance file for all of our insurance paperwork, licenses, which would be car titles, birth certificates, that sort of thing. A career file, because my husband and I have certificates from our career that the more sort of certificates you get, the higher up you get in your levels. And so those are important to at least have one hard copy of those. Like I have letters of recommendation that I use on my resume and things like that, and I have a hard copy with me. I have also taxes. A pet file. We have 2 cats and a dog, so I really only have one paper in here, but I'll get into each thing later. A debt file, which is something that we are working on as well, and a settled file. Now, I also want to mention that I have a little checklist of things that are recommended to use when you're going through your categories, so that you don't forget, oh, I didn't realize that was paper, or that didn't occur to me, or whatever. And for me on that list was thank you cards. And I don't know if she means cards that you received in thanks, or like blank thank you cards. I use a lot of thank you cards. I send them out quite frequently, so I do have some. This one I recently picked up off Recycle that was new in the package. I have a more formal thank you card and a more casual. Maybe that seems silly, but I send a lot of thank you cards. So prior to, I kept this in a canvas box I have of art pieces, like glue, tape, here, glue, tape, X-Acto knife, that sort of thing. And this was kept in there because to me it was a no man's land of where to keep thank you cards. I didn't think to put it with my paper stuff. It makes sense though, I guess. So since she suggested keeping all types of paper things together, that's what I'm gonna do. Because like she says, do you feel like you have not so many things yet you're cleaning all the time? And that's kind of why I wanted to check out KonMari and see if maybe it at least organizes the things I do have left, because I do feel like I'm cleaning all the time. So at the end of this, I'm going to find out. Did it help? Did it not? We'll see. But at the very least, thank you cards are now going to go with the paper. Thank you, Marie Kondo. So that I've got in the back here. Now, I have already gone through these things. I want to touch on a few things I found throughout the house that weren't included here. For example, I had a couple coupons on this magnet that went on the fridge. I have a coupon file, so those belonged in here and not on the fridge. Sometimes I forget when they're in here, and yet I just need to be better about keeping them all in one place. So the coupons are in here. If I go somewhere I need to double check, do I have a coupon for that? That's where it belongs. So those went off my fridge and they're going to go into the file. I had this. We recently received a new set of cookware for Christmas, and she discusses and touches on warranties and things like that. I read through the care for the cast iron, so there's nothing in here that if I don't remember I can't find on Google. There's a little cookbook. We don't eat the types of things that would be in here, so we certainly won't need that. And there doesn't actually appear to be a warranty in the warranty pamphlet, so unless this is the warranty, I don't know. But chances are there's no pot in the world you can't replace if you happen to need to. But are you going to need to? Most likely not. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the recycle. Also, this is something that I'll admit, it's been in the ottoman, yet I've been hanging on to it for a long time. This beast is heavier than my daughter. It is a manual I received from my last position. It was sort of specific to the software we used, but in all the companies I've been with, none of them had a set of a helpful manual like this. And I just didn't want to let it go, in case once, the baby was older, what if I went back to work? I would love to have this, as I was a property manager for apartment communities, and I would love to have such a helpful reference tool. Am I going to go back to work? That's certainly not the plan. It's not. And in the meantime, it's just something that I've already had for 2 years now that it's just been sitting. And I suppose it's kind of silly to hang on to it. I'm sad to let it go because I feel like it's a trove of knowledge, but that's on me and not necessarily anything that I can't find again through my experiences, something I already know, I remember, I've read through it already, it's probably all in here, but I just like having it. The fact is, I don't work there anymore. It's silly to keep it, I guess, so it has to go. Alright, next, I also had, I'll admit, I had a little bin. We have a little short dresser thing in the bedroom, and I had a few things in here that would be considered paperwork. I had our checkbooks. I have an unopened one. I have a few blank ones that are just open that we've had kind of helter-skelter wherever. Those are unopened, but the fact is they belong with the papers. They don't belong in the bedroom, and that's something I'm going to try and incorporate from the book. I also had a stack of, let me get it all together. The baby's sort of gone through. I had a stack of cards that I don't carry a purse or a wallet. I keep a phone case that has insert slots for cards. And so I can't carry them all with me, the things that I had. I just carry the things I use most frequently. So I kept these elsewhere. But of all the cards I had, a lot of these were cards that, I just actually don't need because they can look up your phone number, or because I have the key tag, or I have duplicates. So I'm glad to have gone through those because I really didn't think to look into, what are they taking up. I had a outdated appointment card for the chiropractor that, we don't need. I have business cards for a business I'm working on, and that belongs with the paper as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, does this organize all my things to one place rather than, I knew where they were. If I wanted to look for my checks, I knew exactly where they were. But is there a better system? We're going to find out. So far, it makes sense to me. So I'm glad to be able to try something new. I'm going to move this because baby is making her rounds. Now, I went through this file. Oh, the only other thing is I had a notebook that yesterday I used the very last page finally. So this can be recycled as well because I use a lot of scrap paper, admittedly. It's not very zero waste, but I write out recipes. I write out my shopping list. Sometimes I do it electronically, but for the most part, I still use paper. So I feel like it's okay. I've had that a year and a half or 2 years now, so I don't blow through notebooks. I have one other notebook that still is mostly blank and has paperwork from the yoga instructor training that I'm doing that can stay. This is my husband's. He's big on keeping paperwork and cards inserts from bills and things like that. I feel like I'm not so much. But this is his. He wants to keep his, it's life insurance information, so it's going to stay. That's fine. I'm clearing out, we have a mail envelope sorter. Marie Kondo talks about having a file for, this needs attention now, this is things you have to save, like certificates, birth certificates, things like that. So our mail slot organizer makes the most sense to me to keep for that purpose. So that's what that's going to be for. It's currently housing tools, glasses, sort of a catch-all of things where I'm not sure where to put my husband's things. So that's what that's going to be for, and I'm going to make a specific spot for things my husband needs to put where it goes, because things like doohickey tools, I don't know what they are, so he can do what he needs to with them. Now, I went through this information already. Coupons. I promise to clean up my phone storage because my video keeps cutting out, so I'll make the ending brief. But this was all stuff I didn't realize, minus baby toys, that I could have to go. Outdated coupons and the tax stuff that we filed in 2015 will now be filing the 2016 because it's January 2017. So basically this is what is left. This has been cleaned up, cleared up. It has got all the outdated stuff out of it, which is great. Okay, so the feed kept cutting out on me. I was finally forced to go through my phone and clear up some storage space. I'm going to do the best I can with her. Basically, I had that folder and a small bit of, expired coupons and expired yada yada. Of the things you have to keep, my husband, bless you, informed me that I have to keep tax information for 7 years in case we're audited. For my birthday, I'm hoping to ask for maybe a nice, something like a neat desk where it's about yay, and it scans documents, photos, just an idea to digitize that paper clutter that you have to hold on to or you feel obligated to, but you're never going to use it. I really don't see us being audited. But, he has a say as well, of course, because he lives here. So if he wants to keep something, then that's what we're going to do. So I have tax paperwork that I was going to get rid of, but I guess we're not supposed to. Shows what I know. Basically, I went through and got rid of all the stuff we just don't need that, really, I thought I was keeping up on things, and when going through and maintaining it, I realized I'm not as maintained as I thought I was. I guess it's been a few months since I've been through it, although it felt like I just did it. So, like I said, we have one thing in our pet section from the last vet visit. We have information about settlements that, I feel is important to keep, but that is something I would digitize if I had the right tools to do that. I might even just use the scanner on our printer to do it and get rid of it when I get a chance to do that. But in the meantime, we only have up-to-date coupons. We only have absolutely what's needed in our daughter's file. We have our social security cards. We have our birth certificates, marriage license, information like our certificates for work in our career folder. Otherwise, we don't keep anything we don't need. So this holds everything, and I think it works well for us. We have the one notebook. We both, we share a notebook. We use it. I've had that one 2 years as well. I bought both those on the same day, and we're still using it. So the thing that did change, I would say, in retrospect of using, applying KonMari to an already minimalist in this situation would just be that things like the cards that I went through and the checks and things like that, I wasn't keeping those all in one place. So I can see what she's saying in the idea of you're always cleaning because this is here and this is here and that's over there, but to have everything of one type of item in one place, it's not that you didn't necessarily know where it was before. Maybe that's the case sometimes. But for something like this, I knew where the checks were because we don't have a ton of things. I knew where the gift cards were if I wanted them.
But is it organized to say it's over here and the papers are over there and the notebook is under there? Not necessarily. So I'm looking forward to trying this in other places and seeing how it works for us over here. So I just want to show you, this is where I keep the paperwork. I have a, if you could see that, it's a Ottoman coffee table thing. This is where I have some games. We only had Monopoly until about 2 weeks ago when it was Christmas. I got him Jenga and he got me chess, so we were both trying to inspire each other to have more family time, I think. So now we have 3 games. Also, there's the file there. The notebook is underneath, and now I have checks and my business cards. It's all in one spot. Hopefully that's translating there. It's all kept neatly inside. So, so far so good. I like that it made me rethink where all my things were, and it made me rethink, well, is a thank you card paperwork or is it art? Obviously it's not art, yet that's where it was. So so far I like that I'm trying something new and applying it to something I've already been doing, and I hope this helps someone else in a similar way that maybe thinks, well, you know, I've read every tidying, decluttering, organizing book that there is, or basically I'm already tidied, so what's the point of trying a new method? There's always something you can learn from a new source. And even if most of it you take with a grain of salt or you leave, for example, it may be a cultural thing to greet your house when you walk in and talk to your cell phone and things like that that were in Marie Kondo's book. I don't see myself doing that. I do want to take from it, I feel like the point is appreciation for what you have. You don't need to say, hello house, nice to see you, how are you doing? But the point is to be mindful when you walk in the door and recognize everything that you possess as something that you own and love. And I can respect that, and I can honor that thought process, and I hope to be able to do more of that in a way that will suit my needs and take me to that next level. So hopefully you'll follow along. I won't always have the baby in the video. Hopefully something will help someone else, and hopefully it'll help me too as I do it. So thanks for joining in. Hope you watched the book one that I'm going to put up right after this, because I just made it before this one. And hopefully I figure out how to mesh my videos together when it kept stopping on me. And hopefully it won't do that anymore. Nice to meet you, and I look forward to the next part of the series.